Joe, good to see you doing. T, good to see you. How you doing? How you been? Pure, good to see you. How you doing? Evening. Comatose, good to see you. How you doing? How you been? Good evening, Miles. Hello, CMF. How's your day? JP, good to see you. How you doing, brother? How you been? It's good. How's your day? G, good to see you. How you doing? How you been? Stormy, good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been? How you doing, Miles? I'm doing great. Theos, how you been? Okay, let's do a rundown of what we're going to go through on tonight's live. Dennis, good to see you. How you doing? How you been? On tonight's episode of the CMF Live, we are going to be talking about Larry Fink. So Larry Fink essentially has came out and give his perspectives once more on the market space in general regarding regulations, policies, Bitcoin, and essentially who's the next president of the United States. So we're going to get a perspective in from BlackRock's CEO on the first part of the live show. Then we're going to go through Argentina news because we're going to be talking about a crypto project we haven't talked about in a very long time, who's just now being given some sort of a green light by Argentina. And then we're going to go through the news topic on tonight's live show regarding Coinbase, because Coinbase is also going on with essentially a court battle with the SEC. Now, Coinbase's court battle is quite interesting because Coinbase has decided to push where it hurts when it comes to the SEC. So Crypto.com recently sued the SEC, and Crypto.com asked the SEC, why are you not going after Ethereum? Why, have you given Ethereum and Bitcoin a green light? What is the reasons behind the scenes? It seems that Coinbase has decided to do the exact same maneuver Crypto.com has by asking the SEC or asking the judge to approve Coinbase so they can get essentially some sort of inside information from the SEC that was discussed behind closed doors regarding what categorizes Ethereum that's very different to everybody else. Then we're going to go through the news topic on tonight's live show regarding another filing for essentially an ETF coming from the Canaries, which is a Litecoin ETF. Another crypto project we haven't talked about in a very long time. Litecoin is about to be getting a green light for an ETF by the looks of it. And then we're going to be talking about the global public debt, which has surpassed $100 trillion in 2024, which is quite ridiculous. So we're going to go through that on tonight's live show and how it can impact the markets in general. Then we're going to be talking about Google on tonight's live, because Google has introduced something quite revolutionary that can, essentially expand mining, cryptocurrency minings for Bitcoin and so on, and AI. It can help both sectors. So we're going to go through what Google has just created and how it can revolutionize these two major fields. And then we're going to go through the news topic on tonight's live show regarding a new crypto project, a new blockchain project that's already raised $500 million from seed money. But it's an interesting concept which they're trying to do, which is build a new city. So we're going to go through that on tonight's live as well. We're also going to be talking about the US bankruptcy filings. Apparently, according to new recent data, US bankruptcy filings have spiked to the highest levels in 14 years, excluding the 2020 filings, which were COVID period times. So we're going to go through that on tonight's live show as well. We're also going to be talking about tonight's live regarding Mastercard announcing their new partnership with XLM, Stellar Luminous, which I think is absolutely amazing. It makes a lot of sense. Stellar Luminous is an amazing project. It's extremely fast, extremely cheap, and very good to build on. Makes a lot of sense why Mastercard has chosen them. Then we're going to be talking about another crypto project, which is also just partnered up with a major African payment company, which is ACH. ACH has also just partnered with a major company in Africa to expand in the payment space. We're also going to talk about Ripple, essentially backing Ripple stablecoin coming out as well, regarding which exchanges are involved with the Ripple stablecoin, regarding the Ripple Swell event that's going on as well. We're going to talk a bit about that on tonight's live. We're also going to talk about Ripple backing another exchange that's also suing the SEC by $25 million. We're also going to talk about on tonight's live show regarding the Ripple legal chief officer, who is Stuart. Now, Stuart apparently had a conversation with a member on X. And now this member, she's a Fox business, so a Fox journalist, you could say. So we're going to talk about what was discussed and were the deadlines true. So before we go through any of that news, mixture of news to go through regarding Ripple news, Ripple swell news, essentially debt news, Larry Fink news, BlackRock news, announcement news, blockchain announcement news, crypto city news, Google revolutionary news. So before we go through any of that, I just want to say to everyone, welcome to the CMF. If you're watching this for the first time ever, my name is Miles, and if you're also a CMF member, let's go. Welcome to the CMF. My name is Miles. I go by the persona Crypto Miles, and this is the CMF live show. Stands for Crypto Miles Family. And on this live, I talk about the most recent things that's happening around the world every single night. This is episode 181 of the CMF Live. We've come so far. This is episode 181, where I talk about the most recent news that's happening around the world in terms of cryptocurrencies, CBDCs, AI, politics, regulations, vital information for you to know about regarding the world transforming into a digital era. We also do Q&As on this live show as well, which means if you have any questions, put them down inside the chat. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you may have. And the disclaimer of this live show, as always, is not financial advice, not political advice, and whatever I say is only for entertainment purposes. So once again, if you're watching this for the first time ever, welcome to the CMF live show. If you're a regular, let's go CMF. Thanks so much to every single one of you that tunes in every single night. And the live show has officially started now. But before we go through the first news topic, which is regarding BlackRock, let's go inside the comment section first. Let's see where we were. We're here. Dennis, good to see you. How you doing? George, hi Miles, CMF. Good to see you. How you doing, George? Hi Miles and all CMF. Hope everyone is well and blessed. One love. Good to see you. How you doing? How you been? What's up, Miles? What's up, CMF? Good to see you as well, Matt. Kerry, how you doing? How you been? Good evening, Miles and CMF. Bull XRP, good to see you. How you doing? Scott, good to see you. How you doing? Hello, Miles and CMF. Good evening, Miles and family. Orphan, good to see you. How you doing? Has there been much news on Ripple's swell? Some. We're going to go through on tonight's live. Miles, I see I'm surely not first tonight. Oh, Scott, good to see you. How you doing? Even Miles and CMF Money, good to see you. How you doing? Scott, good to see you. How you doing, brother? Messi, good to see you. How you doing? Good day, Miles. Are you watched the debate between John Deaton? I didn't get to watch the debate between John Deaton. No. Good evening, brother Miles and family. Funky brother, good to see you. How you doing? What do you think of XMR? Before I answer your question, One Love, thank you so much for the £20 donation. Absolutely amazing, One Love. It's going straight to start up the CMF hedge fund. Absolutely amazing. Thanks so much for the £20 donation, One Love. Genuinely mean it. Thank you. Straight towards setting up the CMF hedge fund. Now let's go back to the question. One Love, thank you again. Let's go back to the question which was asked. What do you think of XMR? Amazing. Amazing project. It's just a shame that a lot of countries are trying to stifle its growth because it's a privacy project. But in general, it's a great project. It's just, I mean, in the EU, they've blocked it. They've blocked Monero. In Canada, they've blocked Monero. The US will probably block Monero as well. Privacy projects is something that governments don't like. So they'll try to block it from crypto exchanges so people can't buy anymore. But in general, it's a great project, but it's a shame they're trying to stifle it. Good day, Miles and CMF. Mike, good to see you. How you doing? Miles, I have big bags of XRP and XLM. Do you think I should buy XDC or ACH or SUI and APTOS? Please help. Funky brother. What I would say is XDC is a must. You know, you have to look at XDC. If you haven't already, look at XDC. It's incredibly cheap for what it is. Not suggesting you should buy it. What I am suggesting is go to the XDC website, go to the official website, read some documentations, read what they're going to be achieving and what they're building, and then come to your own conclusion. But XDC is a must read. ACH is also a must read as well. SUI is also, you know, good project as well. It's doing its own things, doing excellent. APTOS is also doing something as well, but XDC is a must. ACH is also a must. Miles, Adi, good to see you. How you doing? Good day, Miles. Mike, good to see you. How you doing? If you like the show and find it, sorry about that. If you find the show entertaining, please share it. Let's go, Scott. Buy XDC is what Messi says. Messi, good to see you. How you doing? Hello to my CMF family on YouTube. One love. Thanks for the donation. One love. Let's go. It's tonight at 8:30 p.m. the debate. It's at tonight. Last day for the SEC to appeal tomorrow. I hope they don't. Let's see. Have you got a music playlist to hand like Trump, just in case you need a breather from all the questions? I am a sandbag and you are nice. Sorry, thank you so much for the, I don't know what to say. XDC is really cheap today. Yes, XDC is cheap every day, to be fairly honest, which is why it makes it such a great purchase for me. Personal choice. I have to go. I have to be up early for work. I will listen to the show in the morning. You are welcome, brother. Every little helps. Take care, everyone. God bless. One love. Thank you so much for tuning in. Just to make a £20 donation and then watch the live again on repeat tomorrow. Absolutely amazing. Thanks so much for the donation. One love. Hope you have a great, amazing day tomorrow, and see you tomorrow. Genuinely mean it. Thanks so much for the donation. Thank you so much just for tuning in to make a donation of £20 and then repeating the live tomorrow. Let's go. See you tomorrow. Same time as usual. Morning, Miles of CMF. Shelly, good to see you as well. How you doing? I've been purchasing XDC for a while. It is a great project. Now, first news. The first news topic on tonight's live is Larry Fink, BlackRock. So BlackRock's CEO, Larry Fink, has said that Bitcoin's future stays strong despite elections. According to Larry Fink, it doesn't matter who's the president of the United States, Bitcoin's future or cryptocurrency's futures are still going to be very stable. According to BlackRock CEO Larry Fink, there will not be any effects on digital assets like Bitcoin in the future. The reason for his remarks is of the impending US presidential elections. During BlackRock's third quarter earnings call, he answered inquiries about possible benefits from a more crypto-friendly administration. He went on and showed skepticism about the influence of politics. He remarked, "I'm not sure if either president or candidate would make a difference." So the CEO of BlackRock has came out and said he's not really sure if any president or any candidate makes a difference politically on the crypto space. His entire company is run politically. So for him to be coming out and saying, well, I'm not sure it's going to make a difference. We have one president with 3 NFT projects who's just launched a crypto project, who's going to fire Gary Gensler within 48 hours of becoming president. And then we have another candidate, which is Kamala Harris, who is zero clue about the economy, zero clue about the crypto space, zero clue about anything, to be fairly honest. And he, in his words, Larry Fink's words, there's no difference. Of course there isn't. The CEO had this British sarcasm, if anybody was wondering. How can you say there's no difference between a crypto candidate, Trump, and a moron, Kamala? The CEO had to proceed and shared optimism about the growing adoption of digital currencies. He has a particular belief that institutions worldwide are looking for ways to invest in this asset class. He added that the growth will depend on liquidity and transparency. I truly don't believe it's a function of regulation, he said. He thinks that the market dynamics will drive the expansion of cryptocurrencies. Fink also emphasized Bitcoin's unique role as an asset class. He compared Bitcoin to customary commodities like gold and recognized its investment potentials. This change in Larry Fink's view is essential. He previously saw the token with doubt, but now aligns with broader trends in finance. The company continues to improve access to the market through exchange-traded products. The firm recently launched an Ethereum exchange-traded fund. This fund essentially gained over $1 billion in net inflows in just 2 months. Furthermore, the iShares Bitcoin Trust has reached $23 billion in the first 9 months. Larry Fink explained that these products aim to make investing easier and more affordable for everyone. These efforts support BlackRock's goal of making essentially investment opportunities available to more people. Analysts include Ben asked essentially about the effects of more crypto-friendly administrations. However, Larry Fink dismissed the idea that political changes would significantly impact the digital asset markets. Larry Fink's statements reflect a broader shift in the feelings within BlackRock. Robbie Mitchnick, the head of digital assets, described Bitcoin as a safe haven. He said that Bitcoin is not linked to any one or any country's economic health. Instead, its scarcity protects it from usual risk like currency debasement. Earlier this month, Jay Jacobs, BlackRock's US head of active ETFs, said that there is room for Bitcoin's growth. He estimated it could become a $30 trillion market space. This potentially fits Larry Fink's view about the future of digital currencies. So according to BlackRock, Bitcoin is going to become a $30 trillion market space. Now, is it going to become a $30 trillion space? What I would say is consider variable change. It's a possibility that Bitcoin can become, a incredible $1 trillion market space. What I would say is, but him stating that politics don't have any sort of interference with crypto assets. Politics interfere into everything. Politics interfere into stocks. Politics interfere into crypto assets. Politics interfere into real estate. Politics interfere into the automotive industry. Politics runs pretty much everything because it's the corrupt side of everything. The manipulated and corrupt side of the real estate space and the stock market and the crypto market and the automotive space is politics. So to come out on a live stage and do an interview and go, oh yeah, I don't think politics plays any role in any of these market movements. Sure, it doesn't. What an absolute idiot. Or somebody that's pretending to be an idiot on purpose. Now, Argentina is what we're going to talk about next. But a crypto project we rarely talk about. A crypto project that we rarely talk about is Cardano, because there's never much news about Cardano until now. Cardano is getting a green light from Argentina. So if you're holding Cardano, that's incredible news, to be fairly honest. But before we go through that, let's go start a conversation first regarding Cardano and Argentina. I've been back. Good evening, Miles and CMF. How are you? I'm doing great, Kali. Good to see you. How you doing? Hey, today is my birthday. Anya Ahmed, happy birthday. Let's go. At least tomorrow we know what is the SEC is appealing for. Yes, that's true. We'll know tomorrow what they're appealing for. But Miles, let's go. Let's go, Toby. He's playing both sides. He is, definitely. Nobody believes Larry anymore. Yeah, nobody. I'll be honest. Today, Grayscale looks to convert its digital large cap fund into an ETF. The fund contains Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, and AVAX. That's true, yes, facts. Today is the day that essentially Grayscale decided to turn Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, and AVAX into one big ETF. One example, Pelosi. Exactly. Politics plays into everything, to be fairly honest. Do you know what's interesting? I said Kamala doesn't know about anything. I want to say why this comment is here inside the comment section. So I said Trump is pro-crypto, crypto-friendly, and I said Kamala doesn't know about the economy, doesn't know about the crypto markets, doesn't know about anything. And then, coincidentally, I get a comment inside the comment sections that says, you are very convincing trans. Congrats and well done. I mean, virgins will always, write some comments like that. But I don't play for the other team. Never did, and I never will. I only play for one side. Argentina approves first essentially legally binding Cardano smart contract. ACH news, yes, we have some ACH news to go from tonight's live as well. Hit the like for the best live show. Let's go, Messi. Argentina, facing hyperinflation and currency devaluations, has embraced smart contracts. Local reports confirm that authorities have declared the first Cardano-based smart contract legally binding, marking a significant milestone for digital assets. The smart contract is a 4-month agreement between two Cardano ambassadors in Argentina. It involves 10,000 ADA loan, approximately 3,430, to be repaid with 10% interest. It was also confirmed essentially on a post that legal actions can be taken if either party breaches the contracts. Any breach can be enforced in the court's performance of any of the obligations and others' potential performance. And it also went on to say, we just signed the first legally adjudicable binding contracts in Cardano's network in full compliance with the laws of Argentina Republic. Smart contracts are digital contracts powered by blockchain technologies. The two Cardano ambassadors also signed legal documentations that includes the date, the date, time, and transaction details such as transaction ID and wallet addresses. According to Argentina, the next step is to educate judges about the significance and legal enforcement abilities of smart contracts. This will help create favorable jurisdictions in this country and facilitate a commercial transaction. Also, there was added that the same concept can be applied to various legal arrangements, such as rental arrangements, purchase arrangements, and other legal business transactions. Argentina's economic challenges have prompted the country to consider examples of Bitcoin-friendly economies like El Salvador. Argentina, essentially, authorities are studying El Salvador's Bitcoin adoption and legal frameworks. El Salvador's president has been visiting Argentina's Congress for discussions. It also seems like Cardano's trips back and forward to Argentina has finally worked out, because the founder of Cardano has been doing multiple, back and forward with Argentina, multiple conversations. And it seems like the conversations worked, because Cardano has just been given a first contract binding legally green light by the Republican of Argentina. So if you're holding Cardano, if you're holding ADA, this is amazing news. Now, the first loan is only 10,000 Cardano, which is about $3,400. But that's the first green light. The second loan, the third loan, the fourth loan, the 10th loan are going to be much more higher volumes. So that's amazing news for Cardano. Now, what we're going to talk about next is Coinbase. Coinbase essentially has been battling the SEC for a while. The same way Kraken has, SEC versus Ripple, SEC versus Kraken, SEC versus Coinbase, SEC versus Kraken, and the list goes on of SEC versus somebody inside the crypto space. But recently, Crypto.com, which I reviewed on this live, recently Crypto.com did also decide to countersue the SEC when they received the Wells notice. Now, Crypto.com did something very different to everybody else, where Crypto.com said to the SEC, why are you favoriting Ethereum over any other crypto asset? Crypto.com also said, we want to know what's the reason behind the SEC giving Ethereum a green light as not a security, but everything else is. Because every other battle that's going on with the SEC, it's based on a broad spectrum of cryptocurrency, except the Ripple case, and so on. Coinbase today decided to do exactly what Crypto.com did by asking the judge to essentially get the SEC to give them documentations of what was discussed behind closed doors on them giving Ethereum a green light. What is the difference between Ethereum getting an ETF and not being a security to XRP, to File, to Solana, to Cardano, to AVAX? What is the difference between Ethereum's token and everything else? Is what Coinbase is now asking for the judge, and appealed to see what was discussed behind closed doors that gave Ethereum an ETF for it to be green lighted and not a security. So right now, Coinbase is pushing where it hurts. This is where everybody should push. This is where everybody should push. Coinbase escalates SEC fight over the agency's inside chatter on Ethereum. The companies go between on a quest to see SEC documents. History Associates told courts it intends to ask for an immediate judgment in the dispute over eternal communications. An intermediary for the biggest US crypto exchange, Coinbase, is cracking essentially up its legal fight over the Securities and Exchange Commission's unwillingness to produce documents revealing the regulator's internal thinkings on whether to pursue Ethereum's ETH, ETF, and other tokens as illegal securities. Coinbase hired History Associates to pursue the SEC's communications on the Freedom of Information Act, a process that initially concluded with the agencies denying the request by citing that the documents were connected to ongoing investigations. Coinbase hired a gun, eventually sued over the denial, and History Associates is preparing to ask the U.S. district courts for a District of Columbia to force the hand of the agency, to force the SEC, which has essentially since suggested the reason for its initial denial may no longer be valid. They're forcing the SEC, Coinbase, essentially forcing the SEC through the judge to hand over what was discussed behind closed doors on paper. What gives Ethereum a green light? What makes Ethereum's token different to any other token around it? Not just for XRP, but for Solana. Why is Ethereum different to Solana? Why is Ethereum different to AVAX? Why is it different to XRP? Why is it different to any of these tokens? Lacking reasonable alternatives, History Associates intends to move for partial summary. Judgment on the SEC generated documents, the company said in a notice filed with the courts detailing that a plan to ask for a court ruling. A spokesperson for the SEC told CoinDesk the agency declines to comment beyond our public filings. Over a year ago, we made a FOI request aimed at files for ETH 2.0 and other mysterious. Coinbase Chief Legal Officer Paul said, arguing that the internal agency communications belong to us all, not just the SEC. Whatever's discussed behind closed doors with the SEC deciding what is a security, what isn't a security, should be available to everybody, not just the SEC. When then sued to the end, their stall only gets an entirely new set of excuses. Coinbase has been conducting a multi-front legal fight with the SEC, including battling over an SEC enforcement action that accused the company of running an illegal, essentially, securities business. A petition by the company to force the agency to make specific crypto regulations, and this conflicts over whether the inside messages on the SEC crypto thinking should be subject to public view. These disputes could embarrass, essentially, the absence of swift congressional actions eventually from some legal foundation for how the digital assets in the industry may be proceeding inside the US. So this is the best way Coinbase could have pressured the SEC, by pushing where it hurts. Forget about suing the SEC to give you a definition of securities. If they were going to give, if the SEC and Gary Gensler was going to give you a definition of securities, they did it. They would have done it 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, but they haven't. So you got to push where it hurts. And how you push where it hurts? What was discussed on paper behind closed doors that gave Bitcoin a green light? What was discussed behind closed doors that gave Ethereum a green light for an ETF? Because you don't see Ethereum as a security. What's the difference between Ethereum and AVAX? What's the difference between Ethereum's token and XRP? What's the difference between Ethereum and Solana? Solana's, for crying out loud, built on Ethereum. But Solana is being investigated as a security on 2 court filings. So what is the difference? So this is where you're going to push. I think personally, Crypto.com started this about a week ago, pushing where it hurts. What was discussed, what gives Ethereum a green light and everybody else's security. I think essentially Coinbase pushing where it hurts as well, the exact same spot that Crypto.com is trying to push at, is where essentially Coinbase is right now pushing at as well, which is what gives Ethereum a green light and everybody else's security. So we need to know what was discussed behind closed doors on paper for you to give Ethereum a green light. Because Ethereum's token, ETH, zero difference with any other token. It's used for transactional purposes. It's used for built on the ledger. It has smart contract capabilities. There are so many tokens out there inside the crypto space that have the same abilities as Ethereum, but they're considered securities, and Ethereum isn't. So yes, this is the best space, the best spot to push. I want every crypto firm to push for this spot. Now, Canary Capitals files an S1 for Litecoin. Apparently, the institutions don't care anymore either. I mean, while the SEC versus Ripple case is going on, we had essentially another XRP ETF filings, and now we have another filing, but for Litecoin this time around. It seems like the institutions don't care about the SEC anymore, about Gary the Weasel, we could even say, because they're applying for S1 filings. They couldn't care less. Asset manager Canary Capital has filed an LTC exchange traded trust ETF with the United States regulators, according to the documents. The filing is the latest of the proposed ETFs holding alternative cryptocurrencies ahead of US presidential election in November. Canary proposed ETFs aims to hold Litecoin and closely track the performance of CoinDesk, Litecoin Price Index LTX, according to the filings. Litecoin is a decentralized peer-to-peer digital currency, essentially often pegged as a faster, lower-cost alternative to Bitcoin for small payments. Canary Capital emphasized that Litecoins boast a remarkable track record, maintaining 100% uptime since its inception, which they believe position it well for institutional investors seeking exposure to cryptocurrencies. Canary Capital claims that Litecoin has emerged as a leader in real-world payments due to its collaboration with BitPay, one of the largest cryptocurrency payment processors. This collaboration highlights Litecoin's utility and increasing appeal in commercial transactions, bolstering the firm's confidence in launching a Litecoin ETF. Canary Capital has submitted a proposal for an XRP ETF in addition to Litecoin ETF, indicating a larger trend of growing institutional interest in cryptocurrencies investments in line with recent applications from investments from Bitwise. This submission shows that financial institutions are becoming more interested in investigating financial products tied to cryptocurrencies. However, the ongoing legal disputes between the SEC blockchain payment provider Ripple makes it the approvals procedures for an XRP ETF a bit difficult. There are still debates over why XRP should be classified as security or commodity, with the latter presenting major regulatory hurdles. On the other hand, the US Commodities Futures Trading Commission CFTC, which described Litecoin as a commodity in a complaint against KuCoin earlier this year, his recent provided a positive indicator for Litecoin's ETF. The proposed spot Litecoin ETF may have essentially been an easier time getting approved thanks to its category, because commodities typically face fewer regulatory barriers than the SEC considers them a security. As interest in cryptocurrency investments grows, the launch for the first spot Litecoin ETF could mark a pivotal moment for institutional participation in the digital asset space. So Litecoin is about to be, essentially getting somewhere down the line a green light for an ETF. And it just shows that institutions want more variety. It seems like institutions are tired of just having an access to Bitcoin ETF and Ethereum ETF, and they want more. Institutions want more. They want a Litecoin ETF, an XRP ETF, a Solana ETF, an AVAX ETF, or whatever. But institutions apparently want to start diversifying their portfolios, and they're tired of just two options, which is hence why there's ETFs flying about. Now, what we're going to talk about next on tonight's live is regarding the global debt. Now, we all know that the US has a very, very bad track record of debt, but every country does. But the global debt of every country is going to be surpassing $100 trillion in 2024. The global debt is going to be surpassing $100 trillion in 2024. And that's on paper. Okay, that's just what's on paper. What's off, behind the scenes, God knows how many trillions we're in there for. If we haven't reached $1 quadrillion in debt yet. But what's on paper is, by the end of 2024, we're passing $100 trillion. We're going to go through that, but let's go inside the comment section first before we go through that. Good day, champion. Dale, good to see you. How you doing? Hello, Miles. Why some say XRP is not used, just Ripple nets? Ladies, good to see you. How you doing? You said your question was why some say XRP is not used, just Ripple net. I made a tweet today on the CMF. So this live has its own community page as well on X. It's called the CMF, which if you haven't joined, go join. So today, Ripple's CEO, Monica Long, tweeted out saying at the Ripple Swell event that's going on right now, that RLUSD is coming out, Ripple stablecoin. And in her tweet, for the 1 millionth time, somebody from Ripple has said this, that XRP is going to be used. This is a tweet from the CEO of Ripple, Monica Long. In her tweet, it says RLUSD is going to be used alongside XRP is going to be used. So for anybody out, and I made a tweet about this as well, and my tweet essentially said this. Actually, let me just read to you. This is what my tweet said today. Because there's still a lot of people, not you, just in general. So this is what I said today. So Monica Long tweeted out, the CEO of Ripple today, 3 hours ago, she made this tweet. Incredibly proud to share this milestone on a stage at #RippleSwell. RLUSD is designed for financial use cases, such as payments, tokenization, and DeFi. We will use RLUSD alongside XRP in our cross-border payment solution. And I retweeted this with my own quote on top. I've always known you'd be using XRP, but given the number of clueless people in the crypto space, I appreciate you making it crystal clear for the millionth time. Say it louder just in case the ones still lost in the noise don't catch it. For anybody still out there that's confused if Ripple's going to use XRP or not, Ripple has said for the millionth time in their own tweets from their own CEO, Monica Long, tweets from Brad, tweets from CTO David Schwartz, tweets from CLO Ripple, from their own company, multiple people. About 1 million times they've said they're going to be using XRP. But still, 2024, on the 16th today, still people will say, I don't think Ripple's going to use it. Or they'll say, why are people saying Ripple's not going to be using XRP? Where are people getting this information that Ripple's not going to be using XRP? Because according to Ripple themselves, even 3 hours ago, they're going to be using XRP. So honestly, for anybody out there still, not you, ladders, not you, but for anybody out there that's a moron pushing this agenda that Ripple's not going to be using XRP, even though 3 hours ago, Ripple's own CEO stated for the millionth time they're going to be using XRP, but people still inside the crypto space will go, I don't think Ripple's going to use XRP. I mean, what do you say to that? Honestly, when their own CEO 3 hours ago, for the millionth time, said they're going to be using XRP, you still get people inside the crypto space going, I don't think they're going to use XRP. What could you possibly say to that? Not saying to you, but to the morons that are pushing that dumb agenda. So if anybody's still tweeting about Ripple's not going to be using XRP, get a life. Okay? Just get a life. Not you, ladders, those people, for distracting you. All I understand, that was 3 hours ago, the tweet from the CEO of Ripple. All I understand about Kamala is that there's nothing to understand. I agree. Facts. So, brother, Davey, good to see you. So how you doing? What do you think about Kamala saying that she will fight for the black community for crypto when there is no color skin about crypto? Kamala's a moron. Okay, let me just say this. Any politician, prime minister or president, using your skin color for votes, using your religion for votes, should be disbarred. I genuinely think this. Any politician or president that comes out and goes, I am fighting for the black community, or I'm fighting for the Hispanic community, or I'm fighting for the Middle Eastern community, get lost. Genuinely, get lost. If I see any politician or president or prime minister coming out and going, I'm fighting for the Middle Eastern community, get lost. I'm fighting for the black, get lost. I'm fighting for the Hispanic community, get lost. What's your policies? How are you going to fix the economy? I couldn't care less if you come out and say, I'm fighting for the black community, or I'm fighting for the Iranian community, or I'm fighting for the Hispanic community. I don't care. What's your policies? How are you going to fix the hole that we've digged in so far with the inflation rate? That is what I care about. How about you start fighting for the inflation rate? How about you start fighting for gas prices? How about you start fighting for electricity prices? How about you start fighting for mortgage prices? So honestly, any politician that comes out and goes, I'm fighting for the black community, I'm fighting for the Hispanic community, I'm fighting for the Iranian community, I'm fighting for whatever community, get lost. Fight for what matters, the inflation rate. Fight for the gas prices, fight for the grocery prices, fight for the mortgage prices, fight for the rent prices. Don't fight for my skin color. No, thank you. That's what I would say to those morons. We've digged the hole so far into inflation, they're coming out and going, we're going to fight for your skin color. Don't fight for my skin color. Fight for the hole that you've digged into inflation for. Definition for securities, the weasel is the weasel. Facts. Grand Rising. Ray, good to see you. How you doing? Honestly, every time when politicians come out and say we're fighting for you, they're not fighting. Okay? And honestly, that's what I would say. Any politician, any prime minister or president that comes out and goes, I'm fighting for your skin color, get lost. I don't want you anywhere near me. Hi, Miles. Good to see you. How you doing, Michael? How you doing? Michael, good to see you. How you doing? I'm doing great. I can't seem to get any response from AMXC regarding to KYC. Tried several times and failed. How else can I buy XDC? Uphold. Say it louder. Let's go. Regarding XRP. At what point do the XRP haters wake the F up? I really don't know, I'll be honest with you. Ripple XRP, let's go Scott. XRP, let's go Weezy. The worst part is the influencers that have convinced people to get rid of their tokens. It makes me sad. Facts. I see it every day. People saying they said, they just confuse people talking through BS. Facts. I think they should go home and drink some milk and go to sleep. Facts. Where did Kamala come from with that comment? Miles, I agree with that comment. Religion, ethnic groups, etc. set aside. I need to know what their policies are. Facts. Let's go, Scott. Crypto is the new gold. Crypto is the new internet, you could say. Why did you not hold a live session on Saturday? It's because Toby, I have my own blockchain startup company called CoinMove.one. So I was working on my own company to try to launch it as soon as possible. I'm getting the licensings with the FCA, Financial Conduct Authority, and so on. So I'm applying for licenses so I can get the company up and running, and with venture capitalists and so on, with VC companies. But that's what I was doing on Saturday. Are you the guy? Fight for the people that you're supposed to do your job for. Facts. Lol, fighting for my skin color will not help. I change my skin color, but policies actually might change my situation. Facts. Let's go, Scott. Miles, if you were a politician, you couldn't last 5 minutes as you speak from the heart. Let's go, funky brother. I purchased XDC, XRD, and uphold. Let's go, Scott. Mike, let's go. Funky brother, I will destroy these politicians on a debate battle. Honestly, if I ever sign up to become a politician, I would embarrass every single one of these people on live TV. And it wouldn't be that hard because they have nothing on me, because I've done nothing. But I have a lot of them. I have a lot on them. All of their mistakes. I'll lay them out one by one on live TV. The haters will wake up once the price is up. Facts. Too late though. Yep, facts. Well said, Miles. Let's go, Ray. You can make a swap on Tangent for XDC. You can, yes, that's true. Please throw more light on security coins. Keep deep understandings. I will. XDC, Orphan, let's go. Ray, thank you so much for the $2 donation. Absolutely amazing. It's going straight to start up the CMF hedge fund. Thank you so much for the $2 donation, brother. Going straight towards the CMF hedge fund to start it up. Absolutely amazing. I can't wait until XDC, XRD make move. It will be moving me forward financially. Let's go, Scott. And now we're going to be talking about, ironically, the global public debt will surpass $100 trillion by 2024. By the end of this year, by the end of this year, we're going to be in $100 trillion debt hole as a globe. As the global economy is still trying to recover from essentially the crisis situations, a new announcement from the International Monetary Fund reveals a mixed trend. Global public debt will reach $100 trillion by the end of 2024. This staggering amount, equivalent to 93% of the global GDP, constitutes a critical point in the burgeoning, essentially, management of states. The world now finds itself at a crossroad where managing this colossal debt becomes more critical than ever. The International Monetary Fund revealed in its Physical Monitor report that the global public debt is expected to cross the $100 trillion mark by the end of 2024. If, as in 2023, is expected to represent this year 93% of the global GDP, it continues to rise and concerns our forecast, said Era Norris, the Deputy Director of the International Monetary Fund's Physical Affairs Department. The situation of the institutions even anticipate that the ratio will reach 100% of global GDP debt by the end of the decade. Such a trend seems difficult to reverse. According to the International Monetary Fund, this increase is directly linked to the accumulation of crises since COVID-19 pandemics, which disrupted the global economies with increasing public spendings. Aside from the direct impacts of pandemics, several major economy powers, notably the United States and China, continue to show their debt grow without showing constraint signs of stabilization. The International Monetary Fund report highlights that an annual reduction in public debt by 3.8% of the GDP would be necessary to reverse this trend by 2030. However, the adjustments announced so far, which are closer to 1% of the GDP, are not enough to halt the current progression. Also, essentially the forecast and reality heightens the International Monetary Fund's concerns about long-term sustainability of public debts. The rise of the global public debt poses not only a burgeoning sustainability problems, but it also threatens to hinder long-term economic growth. Indeed, the International Monetary Fund warns that a poorly collaborated reduction in public spendings could have dramatic repercussions on economic growth. Especially in developing countries, a significant reduction in public spending could lead to increased inequalities and greater pressure on most vulnerable, essentially valuable populations. The report warned that furthermore, it highlights the delicate balance that the governments must find in managing their public finances. Moreover, the poorest countries, already hard hit by the pandemic situations from then until now, continue to suffer the adverse effects of record debt levels. The World Bank estimates that to achieve their development goals, these nations should invest the equivalent of 8% of their GDP each year, a goal hardly achievable without massive external, essentially, assistance. This context reinforces the need for states to reconsider their finances and continue to invest in essential sectors like combating climate change. We're about to go through a massive bubble, not just, the United States going through a financial bubble, the world. The entire world is going to surpass $100 trillion by the end of 2024. We're going to reach, the entire world is going to be reaching 93% of the global GDP by the end of 2024. So we're going to reach 100 trillion. And what they're suggesting is we need to fix climate change. We need to fix climate change, is what they're suggesting. And what they're also suggesting is printing more money to give to poorer countries so they can afford to pay their bills. How are those two solutions to fix a massive crisis? If we're in a debt of reaching $100 trillion, the answer is to what? For the answer they're suggesting, this is the World Bank, by the way, the World Bank is suggesting that we need to print more money to give to poorer countries to fix their issues. Would that not just add more to the debt? We'll just be going around in circles at that point. So how does that fix the issue? And also climate change, really? That hoax is still going on? The most, powerful people on this planet telling everybody essentially to ride a bicycle everywhere or walk everywhere, while they take private jets to World Economic Forum seminars. You know that, these people can do Zoom calls. If you genuinely care about fixing the world, if you genuinely believe in climate change, and climate change is the most important thing on this planet, then why does the World Economic Forum members take a private jet, land, take a helicopter, land, drive their S500 Mercedes-Benzes to a meeting to tell everybody walk everywhere because the planet is heating up? If you genuinely care about the planet, why not do a Zoom call? I've always wondered. You're telling everybody driving too much is causing the planet harm. Flying too much is causing the planet harm. Riding helicopters everywhere is causing the planet harm. Then do a Zoom call if you want to tell everybody to, essentially walk everywhere. Why not do a Zoom call? Why does your meetings have to be face-to-face? Do a Zoom call. World public debt is approaching at a point of no return. As states attempt to recoil the economic growth with debt reductions, challenges and continue to mount. The adjustments will be crucial to avoid an even more crisis, but these must be carried out cautiously, as so not to compromise the necessary investments in key sectors. Thus, the coming decade promises to be decisive, and governments will need to act swiftly to prevent global debts from becoming a burden. Maximizing your contribution experience with essentially the data that's just been revealed. So, according to the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank today, according to their new data reports, the world is headed to a massive bubble. The entire world is headed to a massive bubble. Huge debt. And how are they going to fix this debt? Well, according to the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund, they're going to print more money to give to poorer countries. That doesn't fix anything. And they're going to be telling everybody to walk everywhere because climate change. Who put these people in charge again? So they print money, we pay the price. They fly everywhere and tell everybody to ride bicycles. But do you know what the funny part is? There are people in this planet that will protest and go, climate change. We need to fix climate change. What? It always confuses me because the people that are telling them about climate change are the ones causing climate change. You see these random wars that are starting up, they're not really good for the environment if you care about the environment. These essentially, I could go on for lists. I can list about 99 things that's harming this world. And it's all essentially caused by the people that are telling you to walk everywhere. But moving on from the dumbest perspective coming out from the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund put together, to an interesting news coming out of Google. Google is creating nuclear power that you can use at home. Not a big lying about this one. When everybody, you talk about nuclear power, you're talking about massive infrastructures, underground departments, away from missiles. When you talk about nuclear power, well, Google has decided to build some sort of a nuclear power you can buy as a device and use in your own warehouse or house. And according to Google, this device can be used, this nuclear power device, miniature nuclear power device, can be used to advance Bitcoin mining, advance AI technology data centers, and so on. It's a miniature nuclear power device that you can buy. Not now, later on. But most likely you have to be some sort of an institution to buy it, but it's a miniature version. But before we go through that, let's go to the comment section first. With Google advancing AI capabilities, data centers, and mining capabilities. Let's go to the comment section first. Let's see where we are at. Every penny counts. Yes, it does. Facts. Ray, thank you, brother, for a kind donation. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Ray, for the donation. Every penny counts. Facts. I figured out a few things about Miles. If you want to make and get his nerves, just talk about zoo tokens and Kamala Goldfish. I think the bubble could be the Swan, the Black Swan event. Yeah, that Black Swan event is looking more like a Black Bear event. Dang Miles, complete savage with the facts, the way it should be though. Facts. Let's go, Ray. Best information here. Brooke, good to see you. How you doing? How you been? I pray. Thank you for the kind words. I pray for Trump. He's the only one I think that has a chance of turning things around. Yep, that's true. The global debts are all pointing towards the Black Swan event, where they will bring in CBDCs and try to stabilize the economy. One world order, which is a fair statement. Facts. Miles brings the fire. Let's go, Brooke. They will print more money. Facts. Let's go, Brooks. I think all these people have truly lost the plot. They have. The people that are supporting them have lost the plot even more. Honestly. There are people telling other people to, essentially save the planet. But those wealthy people, because you will see it all the time, celebrities will come out and do a campaign. Celebrities will do a campaign. Save the planet. Donate to this charity. Walk everywhere, is what celebrities will tell you. But at the same time, those celebrities will be buying beachfront villas. Honestly. You see celebrities like The Rock, for example, any sort of celebrities, they'll come out and do a campaign. Save the planet. The planet is heating up. Climate change is important. At the same time, the paycheck they will receive from that advert for Save the Planet will be used to buy their next villa mansions next to the water. Beachfront villas. I thought the water levels were rising. Why is everybody buying beachfront villas? So the morons that are supporting them makes it even worse. There are people protesting, saying climate change, climate change. What idiots? Honestly. We are in 6,000-year cycle. This is normal. If you research it, you understand that this is no part of Earth's cycle. It is. It's called nature. I've always said this. There's no such thing as climate change. It's called nature. It's just how the world operates. Nature, not climate change, nature. The funny part is, I agree with you, Shelly, facts. The funny part is, there is no funny part. This world has gone weird. Common sense out of the window. Facts. I love the way you said, who put these people in power again? Common sense is not that common anymore. Facts. What Shelly said as well. Google. Google's nuclear power plant could revolutionize cryptocurrency mining. Moving on the moronic World Bank and International Monetary Fund to Google. Typo, common sense. A new paradigm for the production of nuclear energy could change the calculus for both artificial intelligence and cryptocurrencies. But it requires substantial upfront investments in relatively untested technologies. The United States will soon develop and deploy its first commercial small modular reactor. This is quite revolutionary tech that Google's come up with. Extremely revolutionary tech that Google has created. Because the United States is about to be offering essentially institutions, small institutions, big institutions, and medium-sized institutions, nuclear power energy, a device that they can use. An SMR is a nuclear power source with a much smaller infrastructure footprint than traditional essentially reactor plants, because a traditional reactor plant is massive. It's the size of 12 football fields underground. These so-called next-generation reactors are also essentially portrayed to be much more safer. While small reactors have been around since at least the 1950s, the advent of the new Google SMRs could serve as a game changer for large organizations, such as AI training, data centers, and cryptocurrency mining facilities. Unlike traditional reactors, SMRs can be manufactured in a factory and then shipped to a client's location. Everybody can have their own mini nuclear power energy. Functionalities, these platforms can be set to produce as much as 300 megawatts of energy and could feasibly be built almost anywhere. There are currently hundreds of peer-reviewed research articles available on the subject of cryptocurrency and clean energy. Many large mining companies have begun exploring nuclear power as a safe option, clean and alternative to traditional energy infrastructures. Yes, nuclear power would be better for Bitcoin mining and better for artificial intelligence. A lot more better. The primary factors keeping the average cryptocurrency mining facility or artificial intelligence data center from relying on nuclear energy are availability and the high upfront cost of construction of a nuclear power energy. However, SMRs solve some of these problems. They're essentially easier to develop, require less maintenance and operational staff, are environmentally friendly and theoretically substantially more economically feasible over the long term than alternative solutions, including large nuclear reactors. However, they still require significant upfront investment to develop it. Cairo Power, a US-based nuclear energy company, recently inked a long-term deal with Google to develop and bring the company's first SMR online quickly and safely by 2030, with continuing rollouts planned through 2035. This landmark announcement will accelerate the transition to clean energy as Google and Cairo's Power look to add 500 megawatts of new 24/7 carbon-free power to US electricity grids. It's true, nuclear power, I mean, it's good to go 24/7. It's got electricity going through it. So if they can, make a nuclear power from the size of 12 football fields to a device that could pretty much fit in your hand, then yeah, we've got 24/7 electricity coming out of it. Google's commitment to developing what may ultimately become the first commercial US-based SMR manufacturing partnership, representing the opening, essentially, bell for the Nasdaq commercial nuclear power industries. While not every company has pockets as deep as Google's parent corporation Alphabet, the cost of entry for an on-site nuclear power is likely to drop as the first generation of SMRs are manufactured and improved upon over time. Ultimately, essentially barring a fusion of breakthrough SMRs could be cryptocurrency mining industry's most economically efficient and environmentally friendly, both for energy generations. That's incredible. What they're creating, what Google is actually creating, beyond of having an Android system going on and Google search engine, they're creating nuclear power, which can run 24/7. Free, pretty much. But they're getting a nuclear power reactor, which is, size of football fields put together, and compacting it for a device to be this big, roughly, or a little bit more bigger, that anybody can use. You can buy it and put it outside your warehouse or your small business or whatever, and you have 24/7 electricity running. This might be the most revolutionary thing coming out of the United States. I mean, the United States has introduced a lot of revolutionary things around the world, but this might be the biggest. This reminds me of, if anybody's old enough to remember, anybody remember floppy disk? It's maybe not as impressive as that, but anybody remember, these big floppy disks that you have to put inside computers, and they were like, 1 megabyte, 2 megabytes, something like that. And now we have, micro SDs, and then micro SDs became inside of phone chips and so on. So it's just something that was massive, and now it's going to become, and so on, which is quite revolutionary. Now, what we're going to talk about next, moving off Google's and the US's biggest thing coming out, to a new blockchain project that has raised $500 million in venture capital money. Do they have a token yet? No. No. I don't believe this company is going to have a token. But what it is probably going to do is go public. So it's a company that's attached to Google. So this company could go public. But it's a company that's attached to Google that could one day go public. And now you've heard about it for the first time here. I think everybody just got the floppy disk. Lol, yes. Are you that old? Lol. Yeah. Now, we wish. A new blockchain project that's came out of nowhere and has raised already $500 million. They've raised $500 million with venture capital money. So not by raising money from other people, but from companies. And that's what I normally do. I normally share, I always, if I ever share any crypto project on this live, I only share essentially crypto companies that have raised money from venture capitalists, because I don't like the idea of, me sharing a crypto project to you, and you being the investor in that crypto project by raising money for it. No. Any crypto project that I share, they've always had venture capital money inside of it. For example, I've shared, MDT, they raised 10 million to 20 million from DWF. I shared essentially LAT, they raised money from a Singaporean company. I shared essentially Ton, I shared Ondo, I shared TIA. I shared these crypto projects first day in. And 2 Switzerland companies, 1 German crypto project as well, I shared as well. And they're all raised $5 to $10 million in venture capital money, seed money, in other words. So they don't need your money to raise money. They have the money. They're just building now. And once that door's open, those 3 blockchain projects I've shared so far are going to be opening their doors Q1 of 2025. So you can be the first ones in, and they've already raised millions of dollars from seed money and venture capitalists and so on. And they're just building now. So when their doors open, it's just good to go. But here's a new crypto project. This one's raised $500 million, more than $500 million so far. But it's got a weird concept, very weird concept. Darren Brown launches essentially the ambitious Praxis project to create a new city. Entrepreneur Darren Brown has embarked on an intriguing venture called Praxis, aiming to establish the world's first network state and rejuvenate the Western civilization. This ambitious concept has already attracted a commitment of $525 million in an investment. We may hear more about the initiative in the future. Overview of the Praxis project. According to a recent published report, Brown has secured $525 million in financing tied to the development of his dream city, a blockchain city. What is their goal? They aspire to build a new city that will showcase beautiful lifestyles and demonstrate that constructing a remarkable city in the 21st century is indeed possible. Unlocking the keys to technological and scientific advancements. So, entrepreneur Darren Brown wants to create a type of city you would see in futuristic movies. You know those futuristic movies when the tall buildings and the flying cars everywhere? Something like that. This blockchain project wants to build. They've so far raised more than $500 million. Seeing major companies' interest in cryptocurrencies, Brown states they have created a mechanism to finance large projects using real-world infrastructures. Upon witnessing institutions like BlackRock commitment to crypto, we designed a mechanism to finance large-scale projects using real-world assets in collaboration with global emerging markets and arch lending for the largest new city development projects in the Middle East, aiming to impact the world. Who do you usually hear the phrase, "we are here to change the world" from? The top 3 answers for the phrase, "we are here to change the world." These types of people are normally scammers, Ponzi schemes, fraudulent crypto ventures, and various methods for deceiving people often emerge with the idea of changing the world. However, the situation is somewhat different. Darren Brown is moving forward with the support of a free development of cryptocurrencies, artificial intelligence, and biotechnology. If he can indeed secure such a significant investment based on comprehensive evaluations and reports from major companies, we could be witnessing the early days of one of the most impactful ideas for the future. Today, this is what was said. Today, we are pleased to announce, essentially, the $525 million in funding for building the next generation of great city, alongside new participants, including Arch Lending, Gem Digital, Dan Romeo, CEO of Forecaster, as well as angel investors such as Tom Schmitz, Rob Haddock, and so on. there's a list of venture capitalists, a list of VC companies going towards this entrepreneur's company and funding it. So far, they've raised more than $500 million. And he said, according to him, we can still build those types of cities, those futuristic cities that you would see in the movies and so on. He wants to bring it to reality using blockchain technology. This project does not have a token yet. It has not been announced they're going to be having a token yet. But if it ever does one day, you heard about it here first. They've already raised more than $500 million from VC companies. They're going to be raising a lot more money, probably in the billions. But whenever they need to open their doors, you heard about it here first. Now, what we're going to talk about next is moving off the futuristic city to US bankruptcy. But particularly not US bankruptcy as in United States bankruptcy, but US companies going towards bankruptcy is what we're going to go through next, the data. We wish. What is that company again, Miles? I'll put it inside a Telegram group, Scott. No problem. If you can remember floppy disk, you're old. The only reason, just to clarify, the only reason I know about floppy disk is because I studied tech. That's the only reason I know about floppy disk. But in my times, we didn't have floppy disk. In my time, we had USBs. That's what my time period was. My time period was USB sticks. And then, yeah. Well, the only reason I know about floppy disk is because I was we were studying technology, so on engineering back in a very long time ago, engineering. But that's how I know about floppy disks. But not because we used them, but just comparing the technology. But in my time, if you want to know, in my time period, when I was studying, it was USB sticks. And USB sticks are now so much more smaller, but nobody uses them anymore. Just to clarify, but I do know about them and I know how to use one. If you're enjoying the lives, please share it. Yes. Hello, Miles and your CMF family. So happy to see you guys. It's time to talk about CMF TV. Let's go with the facts news. Let's go, Carl. I am an OG of the CMF, but this show is fire. Let's go, Scott. If you're enjoying the program, please share it. Let's go, Scott. CMF will have an XRP gathering to enjoying our patience to translate the money. Let's go, Scott. Okay, let's go, Carol. But the USBs we still had back in the day were very big compared to what they are now. The USBs right now are so small. But yeah, nobody uses them anyways either. US bankruptcy is what we talk about next. US bankruptcy filings spiked to the highest level in 14 years. Excluding 2020 filings. So apparently, the US, in terms of companies going bankrupt, the list is just piling on top of each other. Bankruptcy filings from US-based companies have broken a 14-year record, excluding the pandemic levels, by recording essentially more than 500 bankruptcies year to date. So far, the year is only 6 companies away from essentially attaining the bankruptcy levels witnessed in 2020 during the COVID-19 pandemics. 3 notable September filings involved companies that owed more than $1 billion in initial filings in the consumer essentially sector. These companies included Big Lots, Inc., Tupperware Brands Corp., and Wheel Pros LLC. 14 companies with headquarters in California made up over 20% of all the filings in April. New York registered 8 bankruptcy companies, followed by 6 companies from Texas and Florida. Arizona recorded 3 bankrupt companies. Other states had filings for less than 2 companies in April. A survey by S&P Global Markets Intelligence revealed that June had the highest number of bankruptcies, with 72 filings. 72 companies went bankrupt in June this year. April followed June with 68 insolvency cases. May followed with 60 filings of bankruptcies. And March tailored close behind with 58 companies going bankrupt. Why does this not reach the Kamala campaign? Because according to the Kamala campaign, everything's perfect. And according to the Fed, everything inside the United States is perfect. There's no issues inside the United States. Everything is and by the way, I'm not picking on the United States. Every country is in massive debt right now. But they're lying. Every country is lying about they're doing great. Why is the Kamala administration campaign not supporting this? This is what they've done. The Biden administration, all of these company closures that's happened, there has been so many companies going bankrupt this year inside the United States. They've reached pandemic levels, but this doesn't reach it to the news. Why? Because it makes Sleepy Joe look bad, because it makes the Biden administration look bad, and most importantly, because it makes Kamala Harris look bad. That they've had more, essentially. Do you know how many companies they're far off? So if we have, by the end of the year, if we have 12 more companies shut down inside the United States and file for bankruptcy, then we've reached levels of 2020 pandemic. But again, this data will never make it to the news. Because according to the Biden administration, according to Kamala Harris, they've done a perfect job inside the United States. I can tell how much of a perfect job it was with all the bankruptcies. A survey by the S&P Global Market Intelligence revealed that June had the highest number of bankruptcies with 72 filings. The consumer essentially sector witnessed the most bankruptcy filings with 81 companies going under. Industrials essentially trailed behind with 60 bankruptcies this year. And healthcare came in third with 48 healthcare companies bankrupt this year. US consumer spending slowed in August as retail sales remained flat from July. Out of 5 filings with more than $1 billion in liabilities, 3 came from consumers sectors. Essentially a US citizen retracted their spending habits and recession fears. A chart shared by essentially the YTD bankruptcy levels increased by 8 companies compared to 2023. The years 2021 and 2022 saw 321 bankruptcies, and in 2022 it was 264 bankruptcies. Through September, historically, about 100 more companies filed bankruptcies in the last quarter. The prediction could mean that numbers will surge above 600 companies that have went bankrupt by the end of the year. US insolvency cases have risen fastest since 2008 financial crisis. Again, the Fed doesn't talk about this section. US insolvency cases have risen fastest since 2008 financial crisis. In quarter 2, year over year, bankruptcy numbers surged by up to 40% to 6,276 cases. The increase marked by the highest level in 7 years. Chapter 11 bankruptcy filings hit 2,462, which is the highest figure in 13 years. Notably, the bankruptcy rate may be higher than one revealed by the S&P Global Market Intelligence bankruptcy survey. The survey only applies to massive publicly traded companies or private companies holding public debt of essentially $2 million. So the data that's came out, that's been hidden, that nobody should read because it's nowhere to be seen on the news. In the CMF, we have a lot of people that are watching, that are CMF members, and they're all from the United States. I can bet my life on it. Not a single news channel inside the United States has covered this story of the amount of bankruptcies. And you know what the worst part is? That they haven't covered, even in the data report, the full story. Because in the data report of how many bankruptcies there were, which is a ridiculous amount, we're 12 companies away from matching essentially the pandemic situation of bankruptcies. 12 companies away under Biden administration, under Kamala Harris administration. We're 12 companies away of bankruptcies matching the pandemic situation. And apparently the economy is doing excellent on the Biden administration. But they haven't shared all the companies that have went bankrupt in this data report. They've only shared companies with $2 million in public debt that went bankrupt. So the companies that are below $2 million essentially debts were not covered in this data report. So most likely we're over 12 companies of bankruptcies. Notably, the bankruptcy rate may be higher than the one revealed by the S&P Global Markets Intelligence Bankruptcy Survey because the survey only applies to massive publicly traded companies or private companies holding public debt of $2 million or more in liabilities of assets of that time of insolvency, or privately operated companies with liabilities or assets equating to more than $10 million. According to the statistics data, the largest all-time bankruptcy in the US remained the Lehman Brothers Investment Bank. The company had $691 billion in assets during its insolvency in mid-September 2008. So this is essentially just large companies. So large companies, and the filings have reached about 500 plus bankruptcies inside the United States. Large companies, not small companies and so on. Large, medium to large companies, about 500 plus bankruptcies. The small companies didn't even count it. They didn't even make it to the data report. And when you ask people who you're voting for, and people say, oh, I'm voting for Kamala Harris. And when you say why, and they say, oh, well, because she's better for the economy. Is she? There's bankruptcies, companies are reaching levels of pandemic levels. And there's so many other reasons why Kamala Harris is a moron. But, we don't have, years to talk about Kamala Harris, because you could talk about years when it comes to Kamala Harris of all the F-ups she's done throughout the year. But Mastercard is what we're going to talk about next instead. Mastercard announced a new partnership with a new coin, XLM, which I think is absolutely amazing. And it makes a lot of sense. Mastercard partnering up with Stellar Luminous makes incredible sense. Essentially there was a company that was partnered with Mastercard. Originally, they were partnered with Mastercard, and then that company decided to build their infrastructure for payments on Ethereum. And I said that was a terrible idea. Look, Ethereum for smart contracts, yes, makes a lot of sense. You want to build on Ethereum for smart contract capabilities, makes a lot of sense. But for payments, forget about it. Look, there are projects inside the crypto space that have weaknesses and have positives about them. And, Ethereum for payments, that's a massive negative. Ethereum for building smart contract capabilities, so on, sure, why not? And why I'm bringing that up is because one company that decided to go with Ethereum a while ago, they dropped Ethereum for another crypto project by the name of Solana, because they decided Solana is faster on payments than Ethereum and not congested. They're going to drop Solana somewhere down the line as well. I'll be fairly honest. Solana is not great for payments either. It's crashed 11 times. The entire ecosystem has crashed 11 times. You crash once, that's embarrassing. You crash twice, what's going wrong there? You crash 11 times. You should not be used for any sort of payments. But Mastercard XLM makes a lot of sense. XLM never gets congested. It's extremely cheap, extremely fast, and it makes a lot of sense for payments. A lot of sense. Mastercard announces partnership with Stellar Luminous and has joined the Mastercard crypto credential essentially ecosystem to enable verified interactions on public blockchain networks. The Stellar Development Foundation announced a new partnership with Mastercard to integrate the company's crypto identity credential solutions with the Stellar networks, and essentially was announced at a 2024 conference in London. With this partnership, Mastercard crypto credentials, which essentially helps authenticate interactions between consumers and businesses using blockchain networks, will join the Stellar ecosystem as a dedicated credential solution to enable a range of secure and compliant use cases for crypto wallet providers such as Medical, Bitcoin, and Wirex. Stellar and Mastercard's partnership will initially focus on enabling credentials for remittances and peer-to-peer transfers, bringing together user-friendly experiences of Mastercard crypto credentials together with the speed and low fee structure of Stellar Network. Mastercard's crypto credentials integration into Stellar Network helps make blockchain technology more accessible and appealing to a broader audience by simplifying transactions and increasing security, and is intended to encourage broader adoption and widespread use. The Stellar Network is designed to be fast, affordable, and demonstrate the ability of blockchain technology to solve real problems, to solve real people's problems, said the CEO of Stellar Development Foundation. Collaborating with Mastercard and integrating Mastercard crypto credentials into Stellar's ecosystem will make transferring funds safer and faster, enabling a wide range of use cases and further increasing the adoption of blockchain technology. We designed Mastercard crypto credentials to bring greater trust and innovation to digital asset ecosystem, said Raj, the vice president of blockchain and digital assets at Mastercard. By combining our technology, standards, and infrastructure with Stellar's commitment to powering and commercing using blockchain technology, we are paving for the way for a safer, simpler, and more secure digital asset future. Absolute flex. Look, Stellar Luminous, best option Mastercard could have chosen, possibly, without a doubt. Now, moving off Mastercard and Solana, moving off Mastercard and Stellar Luminous. And by the way, just to put a heads up, Mastercard has also partnered with Ripple and a few other essentially blockchain companies out there as well. It's not just Stellar Luminous, but they're partnered with a few. But now talking about ACH. If you're holding Stellar Luminous, that's great news regarding Mastercard. And if you're holding ACH, this is also great news for you in terms of payments. ACH, Alimichi Pay, has just partnered with Yellow Card to expand crypto access in Africa. Alimichi Pay has announced a new partnership with Yellow Card, a fintech company operating across 20 African countries. The partnership between the global fiat crypto payment gateway and Yellow Card aims to make it easier for people in Africa to access cryptocurrencies by using familiar payment methods like bank transfers and mobile money, according to the company release. This collaboration will help people in countries like South Africa, Rwanda, Uganda, and others use their local currencies to buy crypto more easily through ACH. Earlier this month, Alimichi Pay also integrated into Samsung Pay into its virtual card service, allowing global users to make cryptocurrency payments more easily. This extends to their essentially existing options, including Google Pay for seamless transactions in store and online. Alimichi Pay's main on-ramp product helps users convert traditional currencies into crypto. By working with Yellow Card, Alimichi Pay can now tap into Yellow Card's payment infrastructure, which processes over $3 billion in transactions and supports various local payment options. Through this partnership, Alimichi Pay and Yellow Card are simplifying the purchase of cryptocurrencies and participation in decentralized finance for African users, which could open up new financial opportunities for millions. Yellow Card's Chief of Staff, Gilligan, highlighted that this partnership will help drive financials growth in Africa by providing easier access to crypto and stablecoins. Also went on to say, we are opening more doors for seamless access to stablecoins and decentralized finance in Africa, driving innovation and creating new opportunities for millions, said Gilligan Dorco, Yellow Card's Chief of Staff and Director of Strategy. Gilligan Dorco also said in June, Alimichi Pay expanded their services by integrating with Scroll, essentially a layer 2 Ethereum scaling solution. This partnership enabled users to access Tether USDT and USDC coin through Alimichi Pay's platform, supporting over 50 fiat currencies and across 173 countries. So regarding Alimichi Pay and essentially Yellow Card, a very long time ago, Alimichi Pay started tiptoeing with Yellow Card, a very long time ago, which I shared that news. But today, they finally announced their official partnership, which is a big announcement. Alimichi Pay has now become essentially a payment system for African nations, which is amazing to see. And this Yellow Card payment processor is processing $3 billion, which is amazing. Alimichi Pay is their middleman of connecting the crypto digital world to the fiat traditional world, which is amazing to see. So if you're holding ACH, that's amazing news. ACH is signing pretty much every financial company they could get their hands on. Now, what we're going to talk about next is Ripple. But before we do that, let's go to the comment sections first. Sayam, thank you so much for the £20 donation. Absolutely amazing. That £20 donation is going to go straight towards starting up the CMF hedge fund. Absolutely amazing. Sayam, thank you so much for honestly for the £20 donation. Thank you. Absolutely amazing. Let's go. Thank you again for the donation. How do these developers? Sadly, I know about floppy disk. Sadly, I know about floppy disk. I know about floppy disk as well. I mean, Who doesn't know about floppy disk? The only people that wouldn't know about a floppy disk is the new generation. My generation knows about floppy disk as well. But the new generation doesn't. The new generation knows about iCloud. Obviously, my generation, everybody else's generation knows about iCloud as well. But the new generation grew up with iCloud. But yeah, I know about floppy disk as well. How do these developers try and through just having ideas to just raise a project and can generate such amounts of $500 million? Amazing. Okay, how can, so if you have, here is what you can do. If you have, this is a great question. So Toby has asked, how do these developers, come up with, these amazing ideas and then raise so much amount of money, like $500 million? If you have an amazing idea, if you have genuinely amazing, any sort of idea, you can have a blockchain related idea, AI related idea, preferably blockchain AI, which is the sector you want to be in right now. But if you have any other idea and so on, two things you should do, depending on what it is. One, create yourself a business deck. Two, create yourself a business plan. The business deck is what you're going to be handing to VC companies, and it's just cold emailing. So if you go to any venture capital company, they always have, a contact them page or a email where you can send in your pitch. Just send in your pitch. It's either they say no, or they'll come back and say, if you maybe do this or that, maybe we'll consider, and so on, and whatever. They'll take, if you have zero money, they'll take 30% of your they'll take 30%, 50% of your company. They'll try, but it's about haggling. So they don't take half of your company, but anybody could do it. If you have an amazing idea, genuinely an amazing idea, and no money to build this company, do a business plan, do a business deck, and start contacting venture capital companies. It's either they'll say no, or they'll say yes. And you might get, 20 no's, but you'll still, you might get that one yes coming in. If you're persistent and you believe in your idea and you keep on working on your idea and expanding on the idea and editing your idea, then apply towards venture capitalists. They'll give you the money. If they believe in your project, they'll give you the money. Even if you have nothing, you have £0 to your pocket. If you come up with an amazing idea, these companies will invest. But that's only if they see potential in your company. Only if they see potential of, your idea. So it has to be amazing for them to go, okay, this is something we need to get involved in. But you never know if your idea is amazing or not. You will only ever find out if you put it on paper. And how you can do your business deck and business plan? ChatGPT. Everybody uses ChatGPT. Even BlackRock uses ChatGPT. JP Morgan uses ChatGPT. Goldman Sachs uses ChatGPT. Even Vanguard uses it. So don't think just because you're using ChatGPT, they're not. They're also using it. So go to ChatGPT if you have an amazing idea. Say to ChatGPT, this is what my idea is. Tell me if it's bad. Tell me if it's good. Tell me what I should change. And then say, write me a business plan, write me a business deck, write me some emails I can send off. And who knows? You might get one venture capital company that goes, we'll invest. But if your project is related to blockchain and AI, it's a higher likely chance you'll get invested into. Because right now, there's a study test that came out of a week back. And the study test revealed that venture capitalist companies right now are investing heavily into Web3 related projects, AI related projects, data related projects, payment related projects, all related to blockchain. So they're heavily investing into that sector right now. So if you bring out something amazing to the table, you never know. You could be the next person I'm reading the news about. So if you think you have a great project, go for it. Nothing's stopping you. Send it to venture capitalists. And they will, as I said, take 30% of your company. They will take 30% of your company, maybe some cases 50% of your company. You can haggle, obviously, and say, no, I don't want to give 50% away. I want to give 20% away. But, even if you have to give 30% of your company away, you get the right amount to start that company. You had nothing to start off with. Don't be greedy sometimes. But if you believe you can get another door to say yes to, then reject the 30%, 50%, and get a door that says yes for 20%. If you believe you can get it. If you don't believe you can get it, then don't be greedy and accept whatever they give you so you can start your company. Now, Ripple is what we're talking about next. Before we go through that, let's go to the comment section again. Miles, do you think Saudis and Qatar are also in debts, including UAE? Yes. Saudi Arabia is using a budget to build. So Saudi Arabia and not Saudi Arabia, sorry. Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the UAE. Yes, they're all in debt. They're all using funds that they had. In fact, the United Arab Emirates is using some sort of a budget that to build these futuristic cities, and so is Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is also using some sort of a budget to build these futuristic cities. You know, the Line, everybody's seen the YouTube videos and the news about the Line city and some other cities in the middle of the desert. Yeah, all of these projects take billions to trillions of dollars to build, depending on how long they go for. And those budgets are coming to an end, which means they're going to start borrowing money. So yes, those are also in debt. I confirm Miles is correct. I'm in the States. Let's go, Ray. And Sam, once again, thank you so much for a £20 donation. Absolutely amazing. Just saw it again. Go straight towards CMF hedge fund. Lol, if you don't remember floppy disk, you're young. I'm doing what Miles is talking about. Believe me, it works. Let's go, Camel. Which is true. Camel is doing it. Camel's trying to, create his own company and so on, create his own project, which is absolutely amazing to see. And it does work. I know Miles and the CMF has been sitting on the edge of their seats waiting for the expertise input. Here it is. Hi, Semper. Good to see you. How you doing? How you been? Let's go, Miles. Let's go, Cali. Thanks, Bobo. Crypto Miles. Let's go, Toby. Now, Ripple. What we talk about next is Ripple. Ripple selects leading exchanges and market makers for the launch of its upcoming RLUSD and stablecoin. So today was the Ripple Swell event, which was absolutely amazing to see. Big names were attending the Ripple Swell event, and some major things were announced. Now, some of them were announced today, some will be announcing tomorrow and the day after. So today's announcements. Ripple, a leader in creating digital infrastructure for financial institutions, has made a key move by launching its new stablecoin, Ripple RLUSD. This asset, designed to provide trust, liquidity, and regulatory compliance, will be accessible globally through well-known platforms like Uphold, Bitstamp, Bitsto, MoonPay, CoinMina, and independent reserves. The development of RLUSD addresses the increasing demand from institutions for top-quality stablecoins to support a variant of financial use cases, ranging from payments to real asset tokenizations. Ripple's CEO, Brad, emphasized that long integrating RLUSD into the company's cross-border payment solution aims to enhance the speed, reliability, and efficiency of financial transactions worldwide. The stablecoin will serve as a reliable bridge between fiat currencies and crypto ecosystems, facilitating the conversion between digital assets without concerns about the price volatility that many market assets face. To ensure responsible and compliant rollouts, Ripple has established an advisory board featuring leading financial sector figures such as former FDIC Chair Sheila Blair and David Puff, former CEO of Center Corsum. These are people that are attending the Ripple Swell event, which is amazing to see. The FDIC, essentially for the banking sector, is attending the Ripple Swell event. Big names are there right now. Blair has stressed the importance of responsible innovation within the digital asset sector, noting that stablecoins like RLUSD are crucial to modernizing financial infrastructure and promoting financial inclusion. This comes at a time when interest in cryptocurrencies is growing and regulatory frameworks are advancing in various regions. Ripple announces major exchanges and market makers for their upcoming essentially RLUSD stablecoin launch, and Ripple aims to set a new standard in the stablecoin market space with RLUSD, ensuring each token is backed by US dollar deposits, government bonds, and cash equivalents. This strong backing not only guarantees the asset's stability, but also builds a strong trust among users and institutions adapting it. Ripple will ensure transparency with monthly audits of reserve, essentially assets, reaffirming its commitment to a responsible regulatory approach. Not a single stablecoin in the entire crypto space does monthly audits publicly to show transparency on their stablecoin, never depegging. But Ripple is going to do that. The adoption of ORL-USD by Ripple's partners, including key liquidity providers like B2C2 and KeyRock, will be vital in driving liquidity and ease of use in the market space. Additionally, ORL-USD's capabilities will both be using XRP and will allow developers and users to explore a wide range of applications within decentralized finances. This multi-chain strategy could boost interoperability between different blockchains, ecosystems, expanding opportunities for users, and increasing transaction efficiencies. As the cryptocurrency market evolves, the introduction of stablecoins such as ORL-USD marks a pivotal moment in integrating digital assets into the global economy. Though its focus on regulation and trust, Ripple seeks not only to attract more institutions to the crypto space, but also to address regulatory concerns regarding financial security and reliability and stability. Supported by a highly qualified advisory board and availability on top exchange platforms, ORL-USD has the potential to become a key asset in transforming the financial landscape. The people that need to give a green light to ORL-USD is the New York departments, not the SEC, thank God for that. But they'll give it a green light, there's no issues. In fact, the New York Financial Department was also a member at the Ripple Swell event. So the chances of ORL-USD getting a green light from the New York Financial Department sector is extremely high because they attended the Ripple Swell event for this major announcement of ORL-USD and so on and XRP. So the New York department was at the event, and they're the ones giving a green light to the ORL-USD token, which means they're going to get it. Which means ORL-USD, you can pretty much count it as green light. Now, what we're also going to talk about is Ripple backing $25 million round for a crypto platform, Bitamor. Bitamor was a crypto exchange that decided to sue the SEC because they're tired of Gary Gensler, and they randomly sued the SEC a few days ago. And this exchange is a Chicago-based exchange that has had a license from the CFTC for the longest time. And one day, this exchange decided to list XRP futures. And the SEC called this essentially exchange and said, you can't do that because it's joint custody on XRP. The SEC has joint custody and the CFTC has joint custody on XRP, which therefore means that Bitamor Exchange can't list XRP for futures. So what does Bitamor Exchange do? Say, okay, thank you for letting us know? No. They decide to sue the SEC because even they are tired. And they're a Chicago-based exchange with licensings from the CFTC. And this was a few days ago. So what does Ripple do today? Because that exchange is backing Ripple now, suing the SEC. Ripple backs this exchange with $25 million. Ripple led a $25 million funding round for Bitamor, a digital asset derivatives exchange and brokerage platform based and regulated in the United States. Bitamor announced that Ripple, the company behind XRP, led the funding round. This comes as the platform prepares for public launch of essentially Bitamor, the startup futures trading platform. According to details in the press release, Bitamor is designed to offer users access to futures, essentially user base, traditional futures and options trading. The platform remains in closed beta, but its public rollout will provide users with products that comply with U.S. Commodities Futures Trading Commission's regulations. Bitamor is a CFTC registered platform operating as a futures commission merchant via Bitamor Clearing LLC. Ripple's chief executive officer, Brad, commented on Bitamor is spearheading a new era of regulated derivatives market space. Bitamor's approach to bringing offshore trading models into a U.S. derivatives industry presents a significant market opportunity as they establish a compliant derivatives market for digital assets such as XRP. Brad, Bitamor plans to tap into Ripple's soon-to-launch ORL-USD for settlements Brad also added, notably, Ripple has listed several exchanges and platforms around USD, which we already went through as well. And on the regulatory front, Bitamor recently sued the US SEC over the agency's continued reference to XRP as a security. Ripple, as a part, has filed their notice as well for cross appeal, which we're about to go through right now as well. But this exchange backing Ripple out of nowhere, Ripple decided to back them. $25 million Ripple put in their pockets. Now, what we're going to talk about next is Ripple's lawyer, Stuart. But before we go through that, let's go to the comment section first. I missed the answer to my question. Miles, Lena, what was your question? Lena, let me see. I don't think your question is here, Lena. Yeah, Lena, your question wasn't... I can't see your question. Lena, if you don't mind, put your question again. I think it's... Because sometimes some questions disappear from the comment section. Some comments disappear from the comment section. So, Lena, if you don't mind, just put your question in one more time. Because as I'm scrolling up, I don't see your previous comments. I only see that comment, which says, okay, okay, your last comment was, I can't seem to get any response from MEXC in regards to KYC. Tried several times and failed. How else can I buy XDC? I said uphold. Uphold, you can do it. If that was your question. Where else can I buy XDC? Uphold. Uphold. There's a few other exchanges as well, but I'll direct message you a few exchanges that you can go towards for XDC. No problem. After the live. Now, Ripple's legal chief says SEC appeal will backfire and benefit the crypto industry. According to Ripple's CLO, essentially legal officer, according to him, the SEC appeal is going to backfire on the SEC. As the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, prepares to appeal a federal judge decision involving XRP, the agency is setting itself up for yet another high-profile failure, according to Ripple Labs' chief legal officer, Stuart. It will backfire on the SEC, he told Decrypt in an interview. I felt good about our case in the Southern District of New York. I feel even better about our case in the Second Circuit. When the SEC first hit Ripple and two of its executives with a lawsuit in 2020, the company declared very publicly and very loudly that this legal fight was on behalf of the entire crypto space, Stuart said. The move signaled that the SEC was going to come for everybody, he added. Nearly 4 years later, the industry-wide implications of Ripple's legal fight have been heightened as the case moves to Second Circuit Court of Appeals. The determination could establish President within the Southern District of New York, outlining how judges should apply securities laws to token issuers within the regions of financial hubs, among other users. Tomorrow, the SEC is expected to file its Form C, which will show what it plans to challenge in the case. So tomorrow we're going to have an idea, well today by the looks of it, because it's 1:17. Today we're going to have an idea of what the SEC is going to be filing. Why are they appealing the Ripple case? We're going to get an idea today. And, sorry about this. Putting it in charge, but for some reason, there we go. Okay, so today we're going to get an idea of why the SEC is appealing the Ripple case. They're going to be filing in their C forms and challenging the case. 2 weeks after that, Ripple will submit its own C form as well, laying out the details of its cross appeal. So today, essentially, the SEC appeals why they're appealing. 2 weeks later, Ripple cross appeals what the SEC has appealed. Then both parties will essentially work out a briefing schedule. The SEC and Ripple will come together to essentially create a briefing schedule. But here's the thing. The SEC has up to 90 days to file its first brief. And according to Ripple's chief legal officer, Stuart, the SEC will probably most likely use 90 days and then appeal, essentially filing their form. And do I see that possibly happening? Yes. I mean, knowing Gary Gensler, the man waited for the last day or 2 last days to appeal the Ripple case. He waited the last 2 days to appeal the Ripple case. But knowing Gary Gensler, he is an absolute C-U-N-T. There's no way around it. He's an absolute C-U-N-T. And I can see him waiting 90 days for no apparent reason. On the last 90th day, appealing, essentially putting in his next filings. But they're supposed to be having a sit-down. The SEC and Ripple are supposed to come together for a schedule for briefing. Now, what is essentially being still speculated is 2025. According to essentially the Fox business journalist, Eleanor Terrett, basically she said that the Ripple case is going to be ending in mid-2025. That's according to her opinion. Now, in her tweet, and many other people's tweets, they've stated that they've all spoken to Stuart, Ripple's chief legal officer, and that mid-2025 is what he said. Here's the thing. That's speculative, because Ripple's own chief legal officer also has an X account, which he hasn't tweeted out saying mid-2025. But apparently, to a Fox journalist, he said 2025. Look, here's the thing. When I see it, I'll believe it. Until he sees it, until he tweets it out, until Ripple's chief legal officer tweets it out and says mid-2025, then I'll go, okay, Ripple's saying mid-2025. Until now to mid-2025 is what we're looking at the timeline. But random journalists coming out and tweeting out saying, I had a conversation with Stuart, he said 2025. Sure, let's all believe that conversation happened. But here's the thing also. If there's an appeal, if this appeal gets rejected, it can come essentially within a matter of months, which is also what I said a while ago as well. But this appeal has to get granted for it to move forward anyways. But for a quick rejection, it can happen in a matter of months. Possibly. So, today, they're going to be filing in what they're appealing. If Trump takes office, Gary's 90 days may be in jeopardy, which is also true as well. Another point I was going to make was also about that. See you next Tuesday. Next Tuesday. Yeah, basically. Can you please spell that name of the platform where you buy XDC? I'll put it inside the comment section. If Trump takes office, Gary's 90 days may be in jeopardy. That's also facts as well. If Trump takes an office, Gary's 90 days, Gary's going to become jobless when Trump takes office. So that 90 days wouldn't really work out for Gary Gensler. But this man's going to be buying time as much as he possibly can for himself. When do you believe? A few months. Not mid-2025, a few months. Now, we have also, and I did say the 2 predictions, and all of my lives are recorded. If this appeal gets approved in any sort of a way, this is one big, massive show, especially with Ripple, Chris Larsen making a donation to Kamala Harris. At the same time, Kamala Harris is the same person vetoing, the Ripple case, the SEC backing the SEC, and then Ripple's making donations to Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris is backing the SEC, vetoing anything the congressmen say against the SEC. So all that is just one big show. So as I said previously, the 2 outcomes. If this case gets rejected, this was a genuine case. If this essentially case moves forward for some apparent reason, is one big show. It's guaranteed one big show. Because the donation towards Kamala Harris backing the SEC suing Ripple, then Ripple making donations to Kamala Harris makes 0 sense. Otherwise, it has to be one big show. Now, just gives me more time to buy more XRP low. Let's go Stormy. When do you believe? A few months, not mid-2025. BRICS are coming out with their own payment systems. They are, and I revealed that yesterday. BRICS are coming out with a few months as well. But let's not forget about the main subject, okay? Main subject. We're going to have more. 2024, we've had more banks, more institutions than ever before. Okay, 2024, we've had more banks, more institutions, and more policies than ever before. And we're going to go into more institutions, banks, and so on and so on. And that's not just according to me, which I'm never wrong, but it's also according to Grayscale. It's according to Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan's analysts that the next clientele entering the crypto space or institutional clientele, we're going to go into a utility run. There is not a single crypto project on this planet that has more utility than XRP. When it comes for a positive for institutions and banks, there's not a single crypto project on this planet that has more utility purposes for banks and institutions than XRP. So going into a utility run, especially with all the banks and institutions, more and more joining the crypto space every day, nothing's going to top XRP. And that's why I said that XRP is not just going to be in this run, because a lot of people think it's going to be missing the bull run. It's not going to be missing the bull run. It's not just that XRP is going to be in this run, it's also going to be leading this run. Now, we've also reached the endings of tonight's live show as well. And we covered regarding the Ripple news, regarding the structure of essentially Stewart, Ripple CLO. Also, Ripple CLO stating that this appeal that the SEC has done can backfire on the SEC as well, which it possibly can a lot, because they have zero grounds. We also talked about Ripple backing Bittermore with $25 million on tonight's live show. We also talked about on tonight's live regarding Ripple selecting their exchanges that's going to be listing ORLUSD. On tonight's live show, we also covered news regarding ACH partnering up with Yellow Card in terms of payment systems. We also went through news regarding Mastercard announcing partnerships with a surprise altcoin, which was XLM. We also went through the news topic on tonight's live show regarding US bankruptcy filings. We talked about the Darren Brown launching a crypto city project. We also talked about on tonight's live regarding Google's nuclear power plan. We also talked about news topics like, on tonight's live show, the global public debt surpassing $100 trillion by the end of 2024, according to the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund. We also talked about S1 filing for Litecoin ETF. And we talked about Coinbase escalating their essentially SEC court battle by pressing where it hurts on why is the SEC giving special treatment to Ethereum coming from Coinbase. We also talked about on tonight's live show regarding Larry Fink and his perspectives on the market space. And we talked about Argentina approving Cardano loans. So we talked about a lot of things, as we always do every single night on this live show. Drop a follow, drop a like. If you're watching this for the first time ever, subscribe. If you watch this on YouTube, follow me if you watch this on X, and tune into this live every single night. This was episode 181 of the CMF Live. Drop a follow, drop a like, drop a retweet. If you haven't already, do it. Let's go. And also join the CMF X communities page on X. It's completely free. This live show is completely free as well, every single night. Join the CMF X communities page if you already haven't on X, the community page, and join the Telegram group if you already haven't either. Absolutely amazing place to be in. Thanks, Cameron, for your answer. Let's go. I'm not selling XRP regardless. Let's go. Just give me more time to buy XRP long. Let's go. I agree, Stormy. I'll just keep nickel and diamond and then add to my bags. Do you think they'll be using XRP? Yes, 1,000,000,000%. Take care, Miles and CMF. Ray, let's go. See you tomorrow, but same time as usual. Good night, Miles and CMF. Carol, see you tomorrow, same time as usual. Thank you, Miles. Good night, all. Lena, see you tomorrow, same time as usual. Look into the blockchain project, Holders and Metaphors. Sounds familiar. I will. Toby, see you tomorrow, but at the same time as usual. Thanks so much, Miles. Have a great night in the evening. Stormy, see you tomorrow, same time as usual as well. Good night, Miles and CMF. Mike, see you tomorrow, but at the same time as usual. Thanks for the live, brother. I also sent you a DM on Telegram. Camel, I'll check it out after the live. Thank you, Legend. Always providing the facts and keeping us calm. Let's go, Shelly. See you tomorrow, same time as usual. Mike, see you, brother, same time as usual tomorrow. Night and day to all CMF. Let's go, Shelly. Good one again as usual. Let's go, Simpler. I will see everybody tomorrow, same timing as usual. Everybody have a great day or a good night, depending on where you are around the world. See everybody tomorrow.